Dude, what's it been like moving from the e-com side to the SaaS side? Are you an enemy?
Oh man.
Have you just become like, you know that scene in Star Wars?
Dude, yeah, literally like you either like you literally live long enough to see yourself become a freaking SaaS vendor. I like it way more, man. It is I'll use the word easier just from the standpoint of like when things go wrong in e-commerce, it's like totally outside your control. You know, like if like a truck flips over with all of your SPF on it, its way from Florida to California, and like Amazon takes you down for 8 weeks. Like there's so many things in like e-com or like in the brand side that like you just can't control, and it's like just getting punched in the mouth over and over and over again. And I feel like with software, it's a little different because a lot more is like within your control. And so I like it way more over here. It's way more of a people business too in software. Like and when I was a Mad Rabbit, the CFO, COO, like I was pretty much just like a guy in a computer. And now like we have more. Well, that's not true. We have almost as many people as Mad Rabbit did when I left at Iris already, just because there's more people. So I like it a lot more. It's extremely different though, honestly, in a lot of ways.
Yeah.
I,
Don't you?
I made the same
I guess
transition.
there's this. Oh yeah, that's right, Jack. You did. I don't know why I always forget that you had your own brand before you moved to the SaaS side.
Yeah, I went from brand to agency to SaaS.
You
I
done it
think,
all.
uh, I think that I liked agency because I got to speak to so many founders that were, sometimes really passionate about what they were doing. That was awesome. But definitely, it's just so much easier in SaaS. I mean, it's built into the model, right? Subscription. Whereas some businesses are just not built to handle the curveballs, the ad accounts getting taken down, the tariffs, whatever it happens to be.
That's what I'm saying.
Can I
I
ask
feel like every time. Oh, go ahead.
Can I ask a naive question? Is it easier or is it simpler? Like,
That's easier was the wrong word. More straightforward is what I should have said. Like it's easier to understand what you need to do and like how to do it. I think it's hard to execute. Obviously, software is very very difficult. But I just like the we knock on wood. Iris so far has been like I would say like a pretty smooth ride to date. Um, so shit will hit the fan, of course, at some point, and maybe my answer to this question will be a little bit different when that day comes. But so far so good on our side, honestly.
I think this would be an interesting question for Zach because he was brand side before as well. He had his own art brand and then moved into SaaS. But for me, on the growth side of foreplay, so much easier. I mean, like guys, a significant fun pastime in my day is just refreshing Stripe, and I don't know what I'm going to see, right? So I don't know. Yeah, it's one business, right? Sample size of one, so who knows?
Yeah.
I worry though that like the idea that it is simple. So I'll share just I've never done brand, so I have no idea how difficult it is.
Mhm.
But my opinion is software is extremely simple and extremely difficult. So like you know exactly what you need to do, and to do it is ridiculously hard.
Mhm.
Um, and it's like a ton of brain trauma. And especially because as you get bigger, the laws of physics in software is that you have to add people. Like that's where all of your cost is people. And like at some point, Drew, I'm curious, like, are you basically HR at your company yet, or are you not yet? Basically, like you're still actually doing things.
Um, like, do I have an HR person?
No, are
No,
you
I
just like
don't.
spending all day dealing with HR issues?
My co-founder does a lot of that. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I don't do that.
This is yeah. See, this is the thing that I think like is underappreciated about like the business of software is because it's all human capital. Um, Humans are complicated in their own way.
hmm
Yeah.
I think that's a good point. I was thinking a little bit about that because like we're hiring up right now. I think we have like 12 or something. Um, and I was like literally like my job is becoming just like how to interact with like these people because there's so many of them. Like when we were in Sonoma, there was 12 people, and I was like, I don't even do anything really besides just like answer their questions and like give them resources and like help them get along and like all that stuff. So I how many are you guys up to, Rashad?
75.
Yeah, that's
Sheesh.
that's crazy. I can't even imagine.
Jack, you didn't know that?
No, I had no idea.
Dude,
incredible.
Jeremiah and I talked about that a while ago. Remember, he has 75 people reporting to him too across the 3 businesses.
That's incredible.
Do you guys have? Are you in person?
Yeah, we're in person here, New York, and Bangalore.
Okay. How many people are in your office?
Roughly 20 in each office.
Yeah, that's a whole different scale, honestly. What was the hardest like increment in terms of like headcount for you?
We went from 30 to 70 extremely fast. So like our sort of 0 to 1 was like roughly 8 to 9 months. And then our like 1 to like zone of 10 was in the next 15 months. And the thing that happens when you grow that fast is you just add people really fast. And like all of it, I mean, like no matter how hard you try, you're going to get so much wrong.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why I was asking, like, so it was like we were like in the 20s, call it, and then we like jumped from 20 to 70 in the course of 12 months. Dude, painful. Yeah.
What
Painful.
was the order of that like staffing model? Like was it like engineers and then marketing and then ops, or like how did you think about like building the org over time?
Most of it was go to market hiring. Yeah, most of it was go to market hiring. And then engineering was actually slower, and engineering was mostly in network. So the engineering side has actually been the least painful to scale because it's so much in network hiring. But the go to market side is both like more out of network and had to scale faster. And so it's been really hard. Yeah, and I mean this in the nicest way to like my go to market team, but go to market people are just more dramatic than engineers. You know what I mean?
What do you
like
mean? Say more.
Everything about it. Like they just
Spicy.
everything is more dramatic. Everything is more dramatic. Like the views they hold tend to be more extreme in either direction. They tend to articulate what their views are more often than like the average engineer. They tend to like talk to each other more often. They tend to be at happy hours more often. And so just like there's just more drama on the go-to-market side than on the engineering side. Yeah.
I posted our first like go-to-market role the other day. So I'll start to experience that a little bit. I want like a growth marketer. Like I was talking with Nate from Numeral, and that guy's a beast. I want one of those guys, like somebody who like really understands like growth marketing.
I think
Yeah.
almost exclusively every hire I've made has been on go-to-market, apart from things that just need to get done. And it's exciting, right? Obviously, I imagine there's challenges building up to a 75-person team.
Yes.
But each one of those individuals has so much potential to do something incredible that you just didn't see, right? As long as you're not, putting them, in agency, it's common to make go-to-market hires that are fresh graduates, affordable talent. If you're actually looking for a killer, you might get someone who does something very impressive.
Dude, totally. By the way, there's someone I'm definitely not going to say who it is, but there's someone who we've hired who is absolutely insane. Yeah, this person is like totally transforming like a component of our go-to-market right now. And yeah, but Drew, I think, by the way, I think the numeral thing, first of all, Sam is a growth marketer. Like the total amount of like unfair advantage that team has is on the growth marketing side is unbelievable. Sam is an incredible growth marketer. Nate is an ex-founder who like happened to have a failed YC startup. Like it's just that like those were the perfect cards to be dealt, basically.
Yeah, and I am not like I'm like a marketer per se. I am like very much like a finance guy. And so I don't even know if I'm the right person to like hire somebody. Honestly, I might have to like call someone and be like, "Do you think this guy's the right fit or something?" Because I don't like we've never spent $1 on marketing. Like we don't have any like paid media. Like we don't do like PR. Like I like don't know how to like spend money honestly very well on marketing. I'm hoping that we'll figure it out. And if we do, I think the incrementality of it all would be pretty profound. But I do think there is like obviously like a testing phase, an experimenting phase. Like what did you guys like start with, I guess, when you were kind of like beginning to deploy go-to-market dollars?
Hiring Rabba.
Yeah, that's a
Because
good
I'm
step
like
one.
you, I don't know anything about marketing. Dude, I'm not gonna
Mhm.
yeah. By the way, you should
So
ping
interesting that
him. This is like a aside, but you should ping him. Yeah.
I did. I hit him up. I haven't talked to
Okay.
him yet, but
Okay.
yeah, I need a guy like that. I need Raba and Nate from you guys.
that's so interesting. There's a black box for you though, Drew, because you're so close to it, right?
Yeah, I mean, it's like, I mean, look, like I know how like Facebook ads work. Like I ran like Mad Rabbit, like, I was very much involved in the marketing side of that business, but like from a B2B perspective, I don't know what I don't even know kind of a thing. Um, and like, we're hoping to end the year kind of in like the 3 million of ARR range. And if you want to continue to like scale like a venture backed company, you can't just scale with like tweets and LinkedIn posts. I mean, that stuff works really well. And it'll continue to work, I think. But like to get to 75 people, I think you have to get a little bit better at a couple other motions probably.
Who's the person at the org for your ICP who says, we need Iris? I'm booking a call.
Usually whoever is like the most senior finance leader. So it's actually not super often to be a CFO, more of like a VP or like head of kind of a thing. And a lot of founders too. So usually the brands that we're working with are like on average they're like 30 or 40 million, so they're not quite like CFO type companies. Um, but they would have like some sort of like head of probably.
Right. Awesome. So
How much are they
finance.
paying you? What's your ACV?
We've really jacked up prices lately. Like these days we're more in like the 2 to 4K a month range. When we launched it was about $500 a month. I mean, the software was such a piece of crap when it was $500 a month. Um, but like now, like if somebody wants to like go below 2 grand a month, I'm probably not gonna do it. Unless it was like a super sick brand and they wanted to do like a case study or something.
The next question I had was, are you guys strictly CPG? Because I remember going to your website and going, I'm pretty sure this would work for brands that aren't CPG, but the CPG across the website quite a lot.
So the whole like purpose of Iris honestly is like to solve like the working capital problem. So that's like that's anybody that holds inventory is kind of like our broader sort of TAM, if you will. Because like for example, if you're selling lotion direct to consumer on madrabbit.com, like you have to buy that, you have to hold that, and then you have to send it to somebody. And we have like a company that does industrial stovetop distribution that's on Iris because they buy the stovetop, they put it in their warehouse, and then they ship it to the restaurant or whatever. So it's the same kind of problem where it's like forecasting is very important because if you over forecast or under forecast, it's going to trickle down into your balance sheet, and then you end up with overstocked or understocked. And um, so like that's my like broader way of saying it, but like more practically today, like yeah, we pretty much only work with CPG brands. We probably have like 3 or 4 that are like sort of not like the brands that you think of. Like we had a manufacturing company too, that was using us for mostly like cash flow modeling. I would like to extend beyond brands,
Drew,
like desperately, honestly.
can I give you
But
a very controversial
please,
suggestion?
I love controversy.
Okay. I think you should try to just let whatever B2C business come in and let them do it on their own and just put like a Stripe link at $1,500 a month. So that way your churn reduces to, so like your churn probability switches at the 2K mark for the segment of customers that you are addressing. Like this basically across a bunch of different types of software, across a bunch of different companies, I have learned that basically somehow 2K a month is a number after which a $30 million brand, the probability of churn changes very dramatically because of the way they do the financial reviews. I bet you if you think back to when you were at Mad Rabbit and you were like looking at software vendors and asking questions about which ones to keep and which ones to not keep, there are numbers that you ignore and then there are numbers that you don't, right?
Yeah.
And so like let them just buy it on their own and B2B commerce is roughly 3 times bigger than B2C. And find all of the places where B2B is like what you were talking about, this like industrial stovetop and things like that. Find all the places where that's happening and focus your marketing there, which is a totally different type of marketing than the types that Nate and Rabba and all these people do.
Yeah.
Right, because the TAM is everyone who's playing around in dorky spreadsheets, right? And there are so many businesses that, I don't know, are wholesaling into Walmart or selling on Amazon or selling on Shopify that, you know, are just lost in the wind.
Our only issue with that is like the implementation phase is not self-service. Like it takes like 2 or 3 weeks realistically to like get up and running on Iris. And it can take, depending on the size of the brand, it can take a week to sync the data. Because, you know, like we're syncing like down to the order level for like the old time, like the whole history of the brand and storing it. We do all of our own ELT. And for like a big Amazon brand where like Amazon like rate limits you pretty hard, that can literally take like multiple weeks. So Rashab, I agree. I think that's a good idea. I think we have a little bit of work to do on like the onboarding side before that's like a super practical approach. But
And then if you go the B2B route, the way to do it is all partner marketing versus direct marketing.
say that again.
So it would be all partner marketing versus direct marketing. So then you would like go to BigCommerce, you would go to Fair, you would go to these types of companies and ask them, hey, the people who you are surveying, they are having this inventory problem today. Fair is financially incentivized because they underwrite the risk on the retailer side. Like that's their model. And so the fact that you're making the merchant more financially literate is actually directly impacting the monetization for Fair. And so like that's the type of thing that I would be thinking about.
Yeah, that's a good idea. Yeah, it's that's like the other thing on like the sort of go-to-market side for us. Like, it's all inbound business. Like we've never done like a good partnership. Like and this is like, you know, spending money or not. You know, like we don't really have like a partnership network. We don't really have like an outbound motion. So that's a lie. We just started doing some outbound like a week or two ago. So we'll see how that works out. But yeah, there's like a lot that there's a lot of work that we got to do.
I'm so bullish on Iris. I remember back when I was at one of the Triple Whale events, I was talking to AJ about it and I was saying, man, you guys, we need some sort of equivalent of Iris in Triple Whale because brand owners in SMB, you know, 1 to 10 mil, that's their only question is like, are we profitable? Are we profitable this week? Are we profitable this month? They want that answer and they're using tools like Triple Whale to get some, you know, idea of it. They're using these abstractions.
Well, Triple Whale, do you remember they did, I think they called it like FinHub or something. And I was a Triple Whale customer in Mad Rabbit and they had like this FinHub idea. And I don't know if I ever like reached out to them, but I was like, this is so sick. They should totally run with this. And then I think they just like stopped pursuing it kind of a thing. But yeah, I mean, that's basically, it's like Triple Whale for finance. That's a good comparison.
Yeah. Yeah. So many of the
What are the
brands that I
things
engage with. Go ahead.
Oh, I was just gonna ask, like, what are the motions, Drew, that you think you do want to run?
So like the whole business is inbound right now. You know, we have somewhere like over 100 customers, which is just from my tweets and LinkedIn posts. I think like I can continue to do that and like it generates like good business. I could probably scale it. Like for example, like I'm gonna do a podcast and I'll do more video content and clips and LinkedIn and all that stuff. So I think like you can probably like in the case of this business, Iris, you can probably double the sort of net new business from like organic stuff pretty easily. And then I want to do like I want to get outbound going like Wayflyer they scaled all the way like almost exclusively on outbound. And so we started just doing that a little bit. I think partnerships would be great. And then we also, and I don't know if you guys have any experience with this, but like getting into like a big like consulting firm, like we're working with this one company that has like 300 clients and we're doing like a pilot with them. And like hopefully we get like into one and then they roll us out to all 300 kind of a thing. So some more of those like channel type partnerships, I think would be really effective for us. Because there's like the whole ecosystem of like, you know, Oracle, Anaplan, like they literally have like economies of like consultants and stuff, which is like something that could be pretty cool for us. And then like I'm gonna hire like an enterprise type salesperson that's gonna kind of run like the 6 or 9 month, 12-month kind of enterprise motion. So yeah,
What is that?
that's kind of how we're thinking about it.
And in the like, what's the product offering in the enterprise?
The primary value prop for like a really big organization is essentially just like applying AI to your actual like S&OP process, like your financial, but like your budgeting process essentially. So like Anaplan, for example, it takes 9 months to integrate Anaplan. And then you have essentially just a clunky old not AI native system, and so all these companies obviously are extremely interested in integrating AI into as much of their business as they can. And I don't know that you really need somebody like me, or maybe like somebody like a little bit of a lower level, like a financial analyst, who would be like running those models in like an Anaplan instance. You can just like talk to it and have it like build you a scenario. Like, hey, Amazon just took us down, for a month. Like, how does that affect our 2025 goals? Like, how close? How much are we off budget? Like, those are really really basic questions that you don't need to pay a kid $140,000 a year to answer.
I gotcha. Yeah.
And then our lower market offering is like more of like the what Jack was saying, which is like how much money did I make yesterday? And like how much money am I going to make today? So like as you get bigger and bigger for Iris, like the finance departments get more and more sophisticated. And there's also like a whole like BI element to the platform. So um, we sometimes are working with like data teams. And that's like actually enterprise, like there's no like $20 million company with a data team. Um, so there's, I mean, yeah, there's like a lot of features. Like Iris has become a pretty beefy platform, which is part of the problem with like Rishab, your earlier suggestion around kind of like letting it rip. It's hard to learn. It's a complicated thing, which is we're working on getting it to be easier. But until AI actually just like does all the work for you and you don't really have to worry about anything, I think there's going to be some learning curves for this kind of stuff. Do you guys run into that? Like, do you see people like trying to use it sometimes and like it takes them like a little bit to kind of learn?
I mean, first of all, yeah, that's true for all tools. Yeah, I think like actually the hardest thing, and this is like where your like product packaging will start to matter a lot, is like what is the thing that this person is signing up to do, and then how do I just like only talk to them about that thing and tell them to ignore the other buttons, basically.
Yeah, that's a really good, like, that's like another thing that we do that we don't do. Like you could sell, like we sell Iris as like basically one platform, and then like the financial modeling is like an upsell, and then inventory planning will be like another upsell. But we don't like, to your point, like we don't package it, we don't message it, like we don't have like different, like you just get the whole thing. Like whether or not you're paying for the financial model part of it, you'll get it. You'll never know how to use it without like us helping you like integrate it and configure it and everything. So we don't really worry about it. But there's no like paywall, like, oh, like you have to, pay more for this.
I don't think you need to worry about paywalling. Um, uh, actually, and I agree with you that paywalling doesn't actually matter. Like, I think that the part of it that matters is like, what is the journey that you're putting the person on? So in the sales process, in the product onboarding, things like, can you like configure those parts of it such that like you just say like, hey, don't worry about these other buttons, basically, so that way they are actually successful in using the platform. I mean, we have this problem in incredible ways. Like it's like very, very bad. And so it's like an area that I am spending way more time worrying about. And actually, this is like relevant in the SaaS world, especially, but Doug Leone at Sequoia, the number one thing he talks about when he's talking about product market fit and like how to go up into enterprises, he won't talk about marketing. He'll talk about product marketing. So he'll talk about sales, product marketing, and product. And there's an insight there, which is like the rest of the marketing can flow out of product marketing, but being crisp about your product marketing really matters precisely for this reason. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
there's so much to it.
I can agree more. I mean, it's interesting with your product, Rashad, because there's sort of 1,000 different directions that your user can go in at any time. But yeah, I couldn't agree more. I think that the word for me is excitement. How do you maintain excitement to solve the problem that they got your tool to solve when they're actually using the product, right? The same way that they had the excitement that brought them to actually adopt your tool in the first place. When they're actually in there, how do you keep that feeling of I'm about to solve it or I am solving it through the experience of the product? That's
And I think that's a good
pretty
call
wild,
out,
man.
Jack. But and like there's like kind of cheap ways to do that. Like there's a lot of like apps that like when you go in and it's like confetti plus 10 ROAS, it's like okay, like I've seen some apps really do that, and I would never do that, but I think you have to do it in like a very like deep seated like truthful way where it's like you actually like if you want to get integrated into like the workflows and like you're actually making in Rashab's case like actually making people money. Um, that's when like the stickiness probably like will never go away.
Yeah, and for us, the like what you were talking about, which is like the attach issue. So it's like I give you the platform, then I attach forecasting and things like that. The what you wanted to follow a logical sequence as opposed to just like, hey, they just start doing everything. Because the problem with like starting to do everything is like actually nobody's doing anything. Or like nobody
Mhm.
knows what is like the milestone that they should accomplish. And so they don't feel the progress. Um yeah. Anyway, there's like a whole like we're on this journey right now, especially with our enterprise customers, because the sets of offerings is sufficiently wide where you need to actually have like an account plan. Um, and you need to say like you start in paid media, then you go to paid search, then you go to SEO, AEO, then you go to a data product, then you go, and so like you have to carry them through a journey, and you need to realize where they're starting, and then paint a journey for them, and then your product and your support, or success, whatever you want to describe, has to like draw that journey for them. And so, anyway, my only suggestion when you hire this enterprise AE is like just have some point of view on what journey you want to put people on, so that way that person knows where to like start them, basically.
Yeah, it's a good point. And in our case, it's kind of it's come about like fairly naturally. Like we start in like sort of like analytics, and then once you have enough analytics, some people start to wonder, oh, like I wonder how this could help me look forward instead of just backwards. And then that's how you get into the forecasting thing. And then like once you're in the forecasting, and this is like we haven't launched this like inventory plan thing yet. Um, but like once you're in like the financial modeling, then like those guys work so closely with like the ops teams that like they're like okay, like we could use this for like inventory planning. So like we have this like it's working really well right now. Most of our growth is actually coming from existing customers right now, not even net new customers. Because so, I don't know how you guys think about seasonality, but like summer's like pretty slow for us in terms of like net new customers. And so like we basically have like and again we don't package it or market it in like a great way, but there's like an analytics product essentially, and there's like a forecasting product, and there's like an inventory product. And our best customers use all of them. And that's when they're actually getting like the full sort of like circular benefit of Iris, like integrating with the accounting team, with the inventory team, etc. So yeah, I totally agree with that.
What's the thing that like you think? What do you think is like the biggest bottleneck, to go from like 3 to 10? This is such a VC question. I can't believe I'm doing this. You build a VC backed SaaS company for long enough,
Yeah.
and you become a VC. It's like so. It's like
You
actually
start,
one
yeah.
of. It's like one of the worst things about being a VC backed company is you at some point you keep getting asked these questions. It's like those are the questions you ask. Anyway,
You
what do
start
you
as a
think is the
brand owner and you move into a SaaS, and then you ultimately become a VC. That's like the ultimate degradation of man.
there's only one thing in common between all of these people. They all have podcasts. So
Yeah. Yeah, our bottleneck is on the go-to-market side. It's not we don't have like a product scaling issue. It's like that is the I mean the goal is to get towards 10 is like what I would say. And I can do it I think about it in thirds. Like if we get to like in the 3-ish, neighborhood this year, I can double us next year just doing what I'm doing. That's not an issue. But I need that extra 3 million, and that's where we're trying to hire up a sales team to get to. Because our sales cycles are probably like 2 months, on average. I mean, they're getting longer as our prices go up. But it's hard to find salespeople. We've tried a few times. Like contract work with a couple folks like a year ago. We were kind of doing it. And it's just it's a complicated product. So we've sort of landed on this idea like we need somebody who has sold planning software before, like somebody out of like an Oracle or out of an Anaplan or a Planful or whatever. Because there's so much tribal knowledge in this stuff. I don't know if you guys see that issue as well. Like, do you feel like you could hire up like a salesperson from some other domain, or do you think you need somebody who has experience in like your kind of category?
Rishabh's probably going to have a better answer than me on this one, but my experience with sales reps is they always have their Jedi mind tricks, and they ask too many questions that sometimes maybe it helps the sale. I don't know. I'm not sales trained. But I find it hard to understand some sales reps. They'll ask me a question, I'll go, or they'll ask the person they're selling to a question, and I'll think, what even is the answer to that question, right? There's a lot of tricks of the trade that I don't fully understand.
Yeah, God. I say, dude, I get into trouble so much because of this podcast. Okay. But you know what? Thank goodness I don't care. I'll just tell you what my experience has been. I think like you should not hire from the ecom SaaS world. I think that's actually and actually the reason goes back to something you said at the beginning around your ACVs and your ACVs going up. The problem with basically all of ecom SaaS is that most like 99.99% of ecom SaaS is low price or it's entirely usage based. And so the problem is that none of these people actually know how to, not none of these people. It's very hard to get people who have been trained in that way to understand how to sell SaaS that is of high value and therefore of high cost.
Yeah, true.
And so my number one suggestion for you is do not make the mistake of looking for salespeople from the ecom world. Look for SaaS sellers who know how to do SaaS sales, who know how to do great discovery, who can actually attach value to the thing that you are selling, especially because you're salespeople. Their job is to go up market. It's not for the inbound of the mid-market of, I'll describe as the mid-market of ecom, that actually you want to go towards automation anyway. And so like, yeah, and I think like that's one component of it. And then the other component of it is you need to sell to the right type of like willing buyer, basically. And like I love the D2C ecom community. I'm like an active participant in it. I don't think like a SaaS sales motion is appropriate for that community. I actually think like swipe your card and buy is appropriate.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's I think like I want to grow out of it more than we are, sort of, as I said. I do think it's a good place to start a product because these people pay no money, they hate you by default, and they will churn the second that you like don't like provide them value. So it's kind of like you're building like a diamond by pressure, almost a thing. And like yeah, I mean, I love the community too, obviously, but like it's a brutal place to like build a software product.
That's a good segue into when are you guys going to have a Shopify app?
Iris?
Yeah.
Iris is a Shopify. I don't know. I think they like rejected us. I think we would. But man, it's not something that you could just download an app and start to use. That's for sure. Probably like not anytime soon, I guess is the answer. Our Shopify integration is literally like you have to check like the 40 boxes to like the like read boxes to like integrate Shopify and Iris.
Jack, pitch me on why someone should build a Shopify app. I'm so curious to know why you think someone should build a Shopify app.
For all the opposite reasons for why sales should sell up market, because you get penetration and you get distribution. And that's literally it. For the lowest customer who could ascend.
Do you run like ads like Shopify App Store or something? Like, how do you get to see it? I can't imagine that's not
That's a
like
great question.
overly
I actually have no idea. I've never
Dude,
worked with a
there's no
Shopify app.
distribution to be had on the Shopify App Store. That used to be the case, but there's nobody's going to the Shopify App Store and typing financial planning into the App Store search bar.
Yeah, but there's there's a lot of apps that are like that you could use in place of what Iris does. That would probably be easier and cheaper to set up. Not certainly not, all the stuff that we do. But we're not a point solution. Like we're very much a platform. And so like if like there's like, there's like those like Be Profit was like an app that like kind of told you directionally kind of maybe how much money you made yesterday. There's a lot of issues with it. From like, for example, like because they don't have as robust a technical approach, they're not standardizing time zones, right? Or doing gap revenue. There's like issues with it, but directionally, there's like there's like stuff out there that people could use, and they probably do. I think Bprofit got acquired. That's a good topic. We should talk about M&A in this space. I don't know if you guys have any insights or thoughts. That's like one thing that I need to be better about. I obviously know all about the M&A and like the consumer world, but I don't know much about what's going on kind of in this category. I guess Klaviyo bought that Gatsby company. I don't even know what that is.
Yeah, I actually don't know what that is either. But I think it's a pretty small company. Yeah. So
Yeah. And that's like Shopify keeps buying like small companies too. Like they keep buying like little studios or apps. It's kind of an interesting trend after they blew it out on Deliver and then fumbled. It's kind of like I wonder if they'll ever get back to that.
I like that you brought that up though, Drew. I like that you brought M&A up though, because if Be Profit was distressed and you could get them for a very good price, would that be a consideration?
No. Our technical infrastructure is far too complicated to integrate something like that into it.
Right. Yeah, that makes
will
sense.
you do M&A? Will you buy small companies? Like, how do you think about enterprise value build over time?
I would. Yeah. I talked to one company about it. And because mostly because they had a bunch of integrations that we wanted. But again, because our database is so granular, like we literally call every data point essentially of like unprocessed data. So like even like a company who has like a bunch of integrations that we might want to like acquihire essentially, if they haven't built the integrations in a way that's like perfectly compatible with our sort of infrastructure, it just becomes like you're better off just starting from scratch kind of a thing. So I wouldn't the odds that we would ever buy a company for their existing infrastructure is pretty low. But of course, if there's a good team and we felt like we could do a deal with somebody that we could acquihire, or they had like a good brand, or they had a head start on something that we wanted to get into. Yeah, I mean, it's certainly not like on the roadmap for us. That's we're still really early stage too. Have you guys considered it at all? Have you done it?
Yeah, we have like a small acquihire, but dude, you want to know what's even crazier than that? There's a lot of, and the reason I'm asking, just to like put on your radar, there's a bunch of companies that got started in like the 2021, 2020 era when it was like super easy to raise money and have essentially no revenue, or are shrinking now. And they, um, all of them want to sell. And the total number of like quote unquote willing buyers is basically zero. And so these founders just want to be able to say like, we got acquired on LinkedIn, like literally. Okay. And so, uh, yeah, I'm sure this is going to get clipped also, but and so there's this massive pool of assets. And I've been talking about this to a bunch of people that are going to go on the market in the next like 15 to 18 months because all new capital is going to AI companies, like pure, like really AI companies. And so given that all new capital is going to these AI companies, these guys are going to be stranded. They're going to be trying to sell. They're going to be trying to like reboot their lives. Dude, there's a play to be had here, and you're a finance guy, where you can just literally financially engineer enterprise value extremely fast through acquisition of revenue, customers, and assets.
Like essentially just
Like
like rolling them up, you're saying?
like a PE, yeah, like literally like PE, but PE based on entry price, not based on exit
Yeah.
price. Yeah,
That's interesting. I wonder. I mean, it'd basically be like a cashless transaction.
hundred
Like
percent, 100% of it would be cashless. Yeah,
yeah, that's crazy. Yeah, I would look at that stuff. Um, yeah, I would look at that kind of stuff. I mean, we're again, we're still pretty small, of course. Um, I don't know how big were you guys when, or directionally, like when did you do your
first one
acquihire? Yeah, or like
0.
you've done more than one.
We've only done the one, but yeah, we looked at, sorry, so we did the one at 0 revenue, and then or like when we were just starting to make revenue, that other company had no revenue also.
Hmm.
But the number of companies who have tried to sell to us in the last 6 months has been like very
Really
large. Yeah, yeah, I've gotten like
interesting.
knocked on the number of people who've knocked on the door trying to sell to us has been like, yeah, I mean, I obviously cannot say who and what and things like that, but yeah, next year is going to be wild. Yeah.
Huh, interesting. Is that like a worthwhile like flow of opportunity for you, or is it a bunch of junk?
Now, okay, I'm happy to give away almost all of my secrets, but Drew, this you and I should talk about not on a podcast.
Okay.
And then let's actually do something, because the shape of these opportunities is like very interesting and very real. And I think you can like literally just produce enterprise value out of nothing. Yeah, yeah,
Well, that has me listening then. Yeah.
yeah, yeah,
Interested.
yeah. Just because of like what is happening. Yeah.
Hmm. Yeah, I mean, I guess we're like coming up on like the sort of like 5-year fund life kind of a thing, for all those people that deployed in 21. Yeah, it's interesting.
The customers
All
play, I
right.
think, is really. I mean, this is a little bit of a zoom out from what you were just talking about, but the customers play is interesting to me. I think in SaaS, a lot of brands don't have the customer base because a sales call is required, right? Just to understand the product, um,
Hmm.
and and accessing the customers is more about being in contact with them, being in front of them, than it is about persuading, right? A lot of these people would, I think a lot of customers would pick up Iris if they just knew about it, right? And if they knew what it did. But there's a little bit of a cost there. One, to finding Iris totally organically, and then to understanding what Iris is and the problems it solves. But after all of that's behind you, I think that there's, massive TAM out there that would adopt a product like Iris.
Yeah, I think it's we're still working with like our early adopters, and like I think my social media has gotten like 25 million impressions this year or something, which like isn't very many. And because it's hard, I mean, I don't have like I have like 15,000 followers or something. So like if you want to like get like real reach, you kind of have to pay to play, which just goes back to our earlier conversation about like actually deploying dollars in a way that people will actually find you. And then to Rashav's earlier point about, packaging it up and having the journey sort of thought out. Like these are all things that like, I mean, look, we have 12 people, 9 of them are products or engineers. Like this is a problem. We don't have business people. Like we need that's what we're hiring now. Now we're hiring business people to think about all of these issues and as we scale. Which I think we got very, very lucky, because a lot of companies in our position would not have had the luxury of generating demand without having to pay for it. And but that's only going to get us so far, kind of a thing. So now it's like time for us to like build like a real kind of business around this product that we've built.
Dude, this is super exciting. Yeah, Drew, I'll ping you offline about
Okay.
some of these other things that are happening.
For the real
I'm be
tea.
very
Yeah, yeah.
I'd be very curious to get your perspective on like what to do there. But yeah, dude, this is a big success. I do got to drop though. Jack, do you think we can call it?
Of course. Yeah, let's wrap it up.
Cool. Thanks for
Awesome.
having me, guys.
Awesome.
Yeah,
Good
dude,
chatting.
this was
Thanks
fun.
for coming on. Dude.
Yeah, good time. Thanks so much. Have a good weekend,
I
guys.
was looking forward to this conversation. Thank you, guys. Talk soon.
See ya. Bye.